Let me explain something, you guys, and I don't understand this, but here's the thing. First of all, let me say this. Uh, I understand why you Negroes go to the military. Um, the military was never an option for me. I was never going to the military, ever. Okay. Um, but let me say this, and it goes along with not only philosophy, but for the strategic directive. Okay. This is what's different when you see history in uh, movies like Gladiator and stuff like, you see bits and pieces of true history. Okay. Uh, there were a few things that allowed other governments or other states, because you got to understand what the word state means, to defeat another state. There were a few things: population, the ability to eat, um, greater military status. But the greater military status was not so resoundingly bigger than others that, you know, it was pretty close. Okay, you didn't lose wars by a lot. And a lot of it was natural stuff like sickness and shit like that. Okay? Now, I need you to fast forward. And I need you to understand that white folks have always been fighting white folks. First of all, I'll say that none of these fights are our fight. Again, I know some of you guys are in the military, but this fight ain't our fight. Okay? You've made up in your mind America's right because you live in America. And I understand even fighting for America, okay? Because shit, you live here, right? But you are going to get your ass kicked. If you live in any state, and again, you need to understand the word state from Plato's Republic, is what I mean by when I say play. If you never read it, read it, okay? Which the Greeks established. Well, shit, they didn't establish it. They stole it and formed it as it relates to our philosophy and Western philosophical thinking, what state means. All right. They were just saying a moment ago that if Russia attacks the UK for what they're doing, then this is going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. You need to understand something. We have something in the earth now that you guys call supply chain. Okay? The supply chain is so significant, or so much more significant, from the delivery perspective, that we're the receivers. You know, we don't sell a lot of shit. We buy a lot of shit. And we buy a lot of shit with nothing. Okay? But intimidation. For years, so did UK, so did Germany. So when I say all the white states, that's what I'm talking about. If they went to war and said we're gonna fight, we're all gonna fight Russia. First of all, you couldn't beat Russia. The way Russia is situated, they still could survive. And then, if you attack Russia or try to attack Russia like for real, then China gonna get involved. China's military is as big as ours, and let's face it, their kids are really fighters. Okay, our kids aren't fighters. There's nobody that listens to the sound of my voice that's a real fighter. In other words, this is what this means. The white kids that were raised years ago, they had so much indoctrination and foolishness in their minds that they thought they were actually fighting for something righteous. And you have to understand, when you're fighting for something righteous, it's different. You don't care about your life. You just throw it away. Do you understand? It's not like that anymore. These kids are too enlightened. They know they're not fighting for anything. I guarantee you couldn't have a mass draft right now. There's not enough rednecks that would go. Their parents might, but their parents are too old to fight because they have it's a different perspective. All the things that would need to be done, the suffering and all that other stuff, how I'm going to eat and all that couldn't happen in America. That could not happen. I need you to just think about it. Them people over there that we talking about, even the ones in Africa, they live like this. It wasn't long ago that they were starving. Do you understand? And they've grown the biggest economy, the fastest economy in the history of governments or states. Okay? Russia's right next to China. Alaska's next to all that. So what's next to Alaska? Canada. Listen, Biden wanted to go to war to generate money. He's still trying to go to war. He's trying to start something before he leaves office, right? This is white folks' modus operandi for everything. Go to war, intimidation, but it's not going to work. The supply chain comes from other people. We don't have any supply chain in the United States. Do you know what it would take to remove all this logistic and start building manufacturing facilities in the United States? To produce everything, food, everything. See, y'all think y'all get all y'all food from here. You don't. You don't get most of it from here. Steel, none of it. We fabricate steel. We do not manufacture ore or the things to manufacture ore. We don't do that in the United States. What would have worked in the past, and I don't agree with look, first of all, I don't agree with how white people do anything. I just don't. But you need to understand, you need to separate yourself from all this shit. You lived in the United States. You've earned the right to be in the United States. But when I hear you guys talking these philosophies that were given to you, it blows my mind. And when I hear people say like, well, you know, they're arguing now, Britain is talking about, well, we're going to do this. What are you going to do? Has anybody on here ever been to Britain? I go all the time. I have to. One of my main shoe seller is in Great Britain. Okay, actually in London. Okay, it ain't shit. It's a bunch of pretentious ass people walking around. It's like the United States, but like 1 billion times smaller, but a lot richer. I mean, just almost as rich. But imagine being rich with nothing. Great Britain don't have anything. So imagine dropping a few missiles in Great Britain. They done. Guys talking about they're going to fight back. Okay, all they got is war vessels to fight. But how are they going to rebuild everything? And at the same time, you fight in the United States. The dudes, look, man, we don't have the resolve to fight the war we talking about fighting. I'm telling you, we just don't. People don't even have the initiative for war anymore. They don't want all that shit. They're like, I'm talking about white, black, whatever. It's all these old ass rednecks. That's, oh yeah, they're doing this. And I'm like, man, shut up. You don't know enough on any level to know what the fuck you talking about. You know, you just believe what you want to believe that used to benefit you. I live in an all-white neighborhood. And when I say all-white, I don't mean a few. No. I'm talking about all-white. And all these motherfuckers are Republicans. All of them. Okay? And I don't give a fuck. I don't talk to any of them. I don't want to know any of them. Don't come knock on my door. Any of that shit. I got so many motherfucking guns in here. It's crazy. Okay? I don't want to know them. All I want to do is live here. I like the trees. I like everything. Stop fucking around with these people and getting in their wars and shit.